Yo, it's the addicts up in this bitch. What's going on, man?
Man, I thought we would start by maybe talking a little bit about a property that you showed
Oh,
Madison, Madison and I,
oh god.
because it's so exciting and so fun, and what a cool
I
experience.
did enjoy the drive with you and actually showing you the property. It was pretty cool. Like it kind of removes me from my regular daily grind in a way, and absolutely love spending the time with yous and so
Oh,
on. So
all of that stuff was really cool. All of that was the fun part, and getting a few timbits after was excellent as well.
I didn't eat any of the Timbits. I just smelled them.
I ate most of them.
No, I ate a bunch of them, but I didn't eat my Jack Link's pepperoni on the drive home. I got everybody else a Jack Link's pepperoni, but I didn't eat the Jack Link's pepperoni. I didn't feel it was. I don't know. I wasn't worthy of the pepperoni. Like I still had dinner, so I'm keeping it in the center console for like not an emergency per se, but like a semi emergency, I suppose. So
It was it
sorry.
was no, it was I mean, that was super nice. You didn't have to do that. And Madison getting back after we were done, she was like, "Wasn't that so dope that there was pepperoni waiting for us?" I was like, "Yeah, it
Oh
fucking
yeah,
was dope."
when I actually do the real estate client thing, which is, oh, if it's not my brother, then you're not my client. I'll refer you to some other agent or whatever. But no, like I got my Red Bull, I got my people's pepperoni and their consoles and their cup holders, and this is going to be a fun drive. I've got my playlist on, the nav is input. Like I like to try to have fun with it. I like to think of myself as a good host in many occasions.
No, it was like it couldn't have went better except for the end result of this particular house. So anyway, I guess I'll start it off by just saying we were looking at a house. It was out of town, so we were on a bit of a drive, and we show up, bunch of jokers doing things that maybe they shouldn't be doing in terms of
Oh man,
in terms
these
of viewing schedule and stupid things.
the
But
disrespectful agents, especially in bigger towns, or cities, may I say.
yes, so that was kind of I wouldn't say shocking, but it's like, oh, cool. So this is how it's gonna go. So things happen, and we eventually get in, and we look around and take off our shoes and follow the rules, and everything's cool. The first thing we do when we get in there, you look down at that little table that was in there, and it's like a sea of agent cards. You're like, oh, well, we're fucked. It's like, what do you mean? You're like, this thing's way too hot.
Like, and these are the people. Even though it says, realtor remarks, agent, leave your card, or these are the people that remembered to bring them in and leave them, which most are pretty good about that. You could see. But that doesn't represent every single time someone's seen the property either. And it's like, oh shit, like there's 45 cards there. We still have another full day of showings after us. And that's not every single showing that there was. It was just most or, the majority of agents that remember to bring their cards in. Then I think you even turned around and go, "Oh,
Oh, there's more in the different
there's some unique
tables.
motherfuckers that excuse me on the there's some unique motherfuckers going, I'll put a card here and I'll put a card in the dining room, and I'm not gonna conform with the card table. I'm gonna put it where I want."
Yeah,
And then we turn around and there's
it was a scavenger hunt. It was like
even more
Easter
cards,
morning.
yeah, Easter eggs around
There
them.
was a crunch berry
Other
underneath the
agents.
fridge. Like it was bullshit. I was like, okay, whatever. I understand that, but maybe it won't be too bad. And we walked
Oh
through the house,
man.
and it was a bit older, but some upgraded things.
It was
Some
a bit older. It was, I think, 1948.
yeah, like it wasn't as old as a certain farm, Pepperidge Farm,
No,
guy's
no.
balls, but
No.
it was an old house. There was some shitty things. And there's some nice things. I was like, "Oh, this should be kind of cool." And
It's a lot of upgrades.
we
A
went
lot
down
of
to the basement,
niceties to it.
and it was the Shire downstairs, made for hobbits. And I was like, "Oh, well, this isn't particularly cool, but I mean, I'm not going to be running around down here. I'll be sitting, I'm assuming for the most part, and ducking through doorways. I'll be aware of how tall things
Your lady's so
are.
cute. She's like, I'm not concerned about me. I'm more concerned about you. And you're like, I can still walk down here. Like, I'm capable of tilting my head down.
Like an
Whenever
inch
she's
to
like,
get by a
oh
doorway.
no, it's, you're like, it's fine. Like, let's keep looking at the place. And sorry, man. I had to throw that out there. It was so, um, I don't know, caring.
It was nice, but I was like, no, these aren't 11-foot ceilings, but we can make it work. We could do some things in here and, move this maybe, or it just ended up being, like, I wouldn't say it's a shithole. Like, it was
Oh,
a
no.
decent place.
No, I mean, like, if you live there, it wouldn't be like next year all the mold in that corner had to be remediated or there was some major. And of course, you can't predict all these future things. The
Sure.
furnace might have been old. There might have been a few things that, but we're talking a poured foundation, like
Right.
pretty nice bones, converted to circuit breakers, little outdoor sitting room, sunroom, wannabe thing not insulated, a garage, super yard, fenced, I'll let you continue, but oh no, it wasn't like certainly a property, to sneeze at or anything like that. Like
Yeah,
it
like,
was
it
it
was
was worth
nice.
our drive and our time to look at it, no question at all.
I just was like, oh man, like, this seems like a lot for the price. Like, very large front yard, all landscaped, proper, garage separate. Wasn't a perfect garage, but I mean, had a little, like, walk up bar
Oh,
because
like
there
a
was,
flip
like,
down, I'll serve you
that
shit
kind of
from the
window.
garage. I thought it was like a great little entertaining property.
Yeah.
There's like a pond and lighting all
Yeah, there's
beside it
that
and
kind of sitting area in
bar stools
between
and shit.
the garage and the actual home, and then fenced in. Outside of that fence is another larger fenced in, although not as nice a fence, larger yard, and there was like fire pit out there and some kids stuff, and like we
It
could
was
have
like
had
a
the dog
nice
out there
city dog park. Yeah, like
Yeah.
okay, we'll chill here in this
and let
private area.
and let the freak do his thing.
But
or-
the dog can kind of go out further on, and oh yeah, I mean it was like over a quarter of an acre, maybe lot in like St. Catharines or whatever. Like it was pretty nice. Like for I think the other places around the area that you would go and see, and then
Oh,
of
yeah.
course the price was
Too good to be true.
super attractive, same as they listed it for in like 2018.
So yeah, we, take a look. We get asked, I think twice or three times, what time we're going in at for this weird, pushy guy who had like a showing like 2
Oh,
hours
God,
after
like,
us,
why are you showing up 2 hours early?
trying to sneak in between the other showings while people are clearly jammed up for time.
How's there 4 or 5 different agents with their people here when there's a very good software system? It's not like the old days. You didn't write it in a book. Like year 7, year 7:30. You're a dick and only chose 15 minutes because it was the default. You didn't read into it very much. So year 7:45, whatever it is, it's like, we're here and we have 30 minutes. This is our time now. So there's a one dude, and I guess it's a pretty common practice, but he's about to leave the property and we're about to come into it. And he goes, oh, do you have a card? Let me look at your card. Do you just want to grab the key from me? And I'm like, oh my God. Like if somebody was coming at me after the fact, I'm like, I don't really care what cards you've printed for $12. Like I'm not giving you access to this property. Are you crazy? It's like out of courtesy, but it's super sketchy. Like there's so much action on this. All you have to do is be some guy from Century 21 and now you got the key to somebody's place. It was really wacky. And I'm like, yeah, you can look at my card, but you're more than welcome to just close the lockbox, and only I should really know the code, because I've been accepted to this appointment. I was like, wow, I would not be very comfortable if you did that at my place, and so
Right.
on. So it was like, okay, yeah, I have a card with my grill on it from Remax, so now you can give me the key. Right now it's legal. It's like, wow, that was super sketchy. It's like big city stuff. No one ever closes the lockbox between appointments. They're just like, oh, can I see your card? Okay, well, he had
Here
a
you go.
business card and it kind of looked like him on it, so
Let him in.
what do you want, my driver's license too? Like I could be a mad crook. Whatever, that was something too, maybe not as common as the old Brantford area for me, but I've had that happen before. But for me, I go click. Oh no, no problem with the card. You go ahead. If you don't have the phone and the Bluetooth or the PIN number to that lock, then I guess you weren't invited. Like, as far as I'm concerned, sorry if you screwed up, but not my problem. I'm not letting you in. I'm not the owner, and nor am I the gatekeeper, the keymaster, anything else. Lock that thing up and off I go. So anyways,
Yeah, so just a kind of a few little weird things where just people are pushy, people are whatever, that's what they do. Cool. We take off, we're like, all right, went decent. Obviously going to be a lot of people. At that point in time, there was, I think, one offer or something against it. Like,
yeah, within maybe that
that
evening, it was, I want to say, one registered offer, which is, I find, pretty rare in this market that someone would come in so soon. And it almost makes me think it's like a funny little game to create some urgency against the property, which honestly, the amount of people showing it, you didn't need to create any urgency. But yeah, we had, like, I would say a premature offer because it was a Tuesday at whatever time, 7 p.m., changed to 7:15 p.m. Offer presentation. And this was Monday, not even by 9, something like that. So we're in that almost 24-hour point, and I'm just thinking, well, usually I just see them pour in like an hour or two ahead of time, honestly, but okay. And sometimes I throw an offer in sooner than later as well, but it doesn't have to be a bully offer. It's just, sometimes you have other stuff to do the next day, and you might as well register the thing and be done with it. But yeah, I was surprised, but there was one offer.
They came. The offers didn't come in an hour before. They just poured in throughout the next, whatever it was, 24 or 36 some odd hours. Just like, you kept updating me. Oh, four offers. Oh, 7 offers, 12 offers, and it's like
every
37 offers at the end of the thing. It was
30,
like
40 minutes. I must have been texting you at least.
Yeah.
Another offer. So yeah, there was,
it's like,
I think ultimately
35
like
plus.
There might have been some retraction or some fuck around or something. It had to be 35 plus legitimate registered offers within 24 hours of our viewing, with one registered at the time.
Yeah, like, that was fucked.
35, and I knew that everyone else knew that they're not putting it in on financing and upon home inspection and insurance approval, or that my lawyer says it's okay. Like, every other realtor advising these people are saying, you know what happens here if you put a condition in. And I think I went through this long enough that I would never advise you, just put the shit in without any conditions, but I can advise you what will happen if you do or do not do that.
Right, it just goes to the bottom of the pile.
Right,
so it's like...
I would never say just, this is what you should do. I'm more of a, if you really want this, this is what you should do, but I don't necessarily advise it.
Yeah, and like, we, whatever it closed, and you're like, oh, it's pending. That means that something is going down, and it ended up going for, I believe it was $250,000 above asking. And I was like, for one, glad I didn't waste your time by submitting an offer, because we were kind of like, you know what, why don't we just submit it? Like, what if?
On my way home, I was like, hey, I don't mind writing the offer and all that. Some people do it in 20 minutes. I'm more of like a 2-hour kind of guy or whatever. I do take longer than some other guys at things. And I'm like really meticulous about the way I finish things. Whatever the case is, I'm like, hey, I don't mind writing this. Like, I won't go to bed even today, like maybe tomorrow, I have access to things that might keep me awake for multiple days. Like, it's no big deal. And then both of yous were kind of like, oh, whatever. And
well, you feel like shit. It's like, hey, do you mind doing us this favor and spending your 2 hours of like what could be leisurely or whatever? It wasn't
a waste of time, like I had said before.
No,
but at the same time, as soon as I saw just the number of showings by means of the agent's cards on the table for what we were working with and the market we're dealing in, I
And
thought,
what money
okay.
we had available to us, it's like,
And what I predicted, as far as just a more of a wild guess, and I told you that, but I said I think it'll go for whatever the address number was, 549
yeah,
or some kind of thing. From 399, that was nuts, right? Like that was a crazy guess. It was over 100 grand over my
which was
over
over
100
100.
grand guess.
I was like, it's
So
almost the price of what they listed it at. Like, bizarre. Like, I could not believe that. And again, I know you say it's not wasted time, but I'm glad we didn't make you
no,
do
it's a
any extra
learning
work.
experience. It was a fun time. We shot the shit. It was just a fun drive. I get to bring out my machine onto the road and show you what's up, and I'm kind of proud of it and all that shit too. And just talking with yous and having a bit of time isn't wasted
Sure,
for
but
you
it was,
thinking you're gonna go and just buy this house in St. Catharines or whatever.
and yeah, we didn't know, like,
Yeah,
we didn't
maybe,
think we were
but
gonna just walk in and throw an offer down and be like,
whatever.
oh, and get it. But I mean, we were hoping it would have been a bit better than that, and it's like there's not much we can do at this point, and it's been pissing me off for the last, week, and I'm like, oh, I just want to get this off. So that's why I had said I want to just talk about that, just to get it out there, to say it, because it's like just been eating away at me. It's like so shit. Now we're looking at renting because realistically, we're gonna just play the same game unless we buy an absolute hole. Like, it's still gonna end up being some guy and his two or three partners with all this pooled money are like, yeah, we'll just buy this piece of shit and fix it. We'll just throw a cash offer, and it's like, well, this house is a piece of shit. We're not gonna throw an unconditional offer at the thing, and they'll just scoop all those ones up. So it's like,
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's like, how do you
there's a
win?
lot of, you know, I mean, we could be here all night just in that regard, but like I say, month to month, from buying to renting might seem like the same or similar or whatever. But and we'll get past this this bullshit subject in a second, but the coming up with a down payment and the land transfer tax, and you get a first time home buyer's credit against this, or but the lawyer fees and the whatever mortgage guy cut or bank wants this, and okay, whatever. Now, what if you're in your place? It's fine, it's dandy, whatever, and something severely fucks up. You know, this 1984 furnace with like a squirrel cage in it, just, that's it, fucks up. Okay, like, can you cough up and I'm not saying it's 7 grand for, that's, but can you cough up the 7 grand for this new furnace? Well, oh no, maybe you have to rent one from Reliance now and pay whatever ungodly monthly fee that is, or this happens, or maybe this whole wall just cracks, and you could have done some urethane injection if someone had noticed it before, but now your basement's flooded and you didn't think to raise your storage off on pallets or whatever. It doesn't really matter what it is. But now, on the other hand, you're renting, you're paying the same amount a month, you didn't have to cough up the down payment, the land transfer tax, the lawyer fees, the closing costs, whatever it might be.
Sure.
You're still paying that same amount per month, as far as in theory that's what it would be. But another severe thing fucks up, like that furnace or that foundation wall, or I mean, we could be here all night naming 300 things. You're not obligated to cough up a single goddamn dime if you're renting it. You have to be allowed at least some livable, dwelling or shelter by said landlord. So
Yeah.
fix the furnace, fix the foundation, get rid of the flood in the basement, and you're not under pressure with this obligation of shit. So as much as it's great
yeah, there's
monthly
upsides.
versus monthly, that it all looks the same, it's not really the same. You have to seriously commit and potentially get seriously fucked.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not to say that there aren't pros to renting. Obviously, like, I've rented before. There's a ton of upside to it. It's just, it's shit when you know that in a normal market you have realistically enough money to get a property,
yeah.
to own something,
Sure.
down the line, maybe rent it out, make some passive income off of a renter or whatever. Like,
And just
it's
line the
frustrating.
landlord's pockets for what probably could have been the same thing ultimately
Sure.
in the end. And I completely understand that, but that's not the market that we're in at all.
No.
So,
Yeah.
sorry, thanks for the opportunity and all that other stuff, but we might have both learned a couple lessons there. Who knows?
Yeah. It was a tough one.
It was still a fun drive, and we listened to some tunes, shot the shit, ate some Timbits, sang Kumbaya. I got the wrong ice fucking cappuccino made with chocolate milk or whatever, and we had to, do some kind of a weird paper straw swap or whatever. I'm okay with it, folks. It's whatever, right? But it was it was for a weeknight when you could have just gone home and grabbed a couple whiskeys and chilled out. It was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, no, it was still a good time. I mean, it just the end result's disappointing, but I mean, even if the market was normal, we could still get outbid by anybody. But enough of the real estate shit. Like you said, it's kind of a shitty topic to talk about.
It's the unexpected end result that was shitty because you
Yeah.
go into it like,
We're gonna win it.
I could pay $400 for this and it's mine. But that's
not,
looking
what
at the
works.
listing compared to reality and what occurs between the looking and the physically looking at the property and putting in the offer. And okay, so anyways, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, but thank you.
So, what about you? That's kind of I wanted to just vent and get that off my chest.
Sure.
What's been going on with you?
Well, is it more of a what's been pissing me off lately or what's been actually going on with me?
I mean, outside of the day-to-day, has there been anything kind of wonderful and exciting? And if not, if it's just been kind of whatever, a slow week or 2 weeks and you're just doing your day-to-day thing and there's just, not a whole lot. Like this was the house thing was a big thing for me, right?
Oh, sure.
So,
No, I mean, it's, we've been redoing the whole office and a couple rooms on our main floor of the house. So I don't know how much I've talked about this before. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Have I talked
I don't think
much about it?
I think you and I talked about it because we were doing this shit.
So we used to have the popcorn ceiling and like the bullshit going on. So there's these mother truckers that have like a 10-inch sanding disc with holes in the disc that have an industrial vacuum attachment as part of the sander with like this fucking reservoir and whatever. So they can just burn the popcorn ceiling and take like 98% of the dust out of the air and put it in this reservoir.
That's pretty sweet.
So I know these motherfuckers that are so good that they're like, there's a cold air return right there in the bedroom. They tape it off. Like, put a drop sheet down, whatever, and just like, blow the popcorn ceiling out. So we're like out of the 90s, folks, in the master bedroom in my office. We're just gone with that. Flooring starts Friday, probably. Rip that carpet out. Carpet-free home here within the week, I would say. Just one of those things, November 10th, 2021, to give us a little kick in the pants to make sure that we go, oh my God, we didn't post that shit till Christmas, man. What the hell? So just going to lay that on the line. But a little bit of renovations, moving shit. Like, oh, you wake up in the morning, you move your mattress out. Okay, you come home at night, you move your mattress back in so you can sleep on it. I'm not trying to ring my own bell. It's a really fucking nice king-size mattress. I'm moving it on my own down the hall over here. Like, it's just so whatever, right? But it's making things better. So that's my you know how my weekly or podcast updates are so exciting, but I'm pretty fucking happy about it.
Funny about the popcorn and like we had some serious, guys who knew what they were doing. Just a quick little story. The last time I experienced the renovation at an apartment I lived in, I was assured that all of the drywall cutting and everything being sanded down below me in the lower unit would be taken care of. And this is a unit you actually helped me run some Cat 5 cables throughout.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Up on that shitty little fucking thing. And I was told, yeah, everything will be taped off. These guys know what they're doing. Like, they've been doing it for a long time. Cool. All right, see you later. I drive to work. At the time I worked, I think, in Mississauga, so I was gone for a good chunk of time, plus commute and come back, open the door. my entire apartment and everything in it, from the TV to my fucking dog to all my clothes in the closet, everything is white. Every single, under the stove elements, every single thing in my apartment is white. And I
God.
remember thinking to myself, like,
They just
you
hit it with
can't-
a die grinder.
I was like, you can't even vacuum it up. Like, you literally need to drag your finger across it hard to get it off every surface. And I'm like, after work, like, I'm trying to like figure out dinner at night, and I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck this is. Like, I don't even know how to fix this. All my clothes are covered in shit. I'm like, do I wash every single thing that I own? Like, so I just wanted to
Like,
put that out there,
it
that not
only-
everybody that says they know exactly what they're doing
Oh, no.
fucking knows what they're doing, because I could also look down through my bathroom vent and see a person in the fucking tub. So the shit was not
Okay, well,
it was not a great apartment. And it was a dude, in case any of you perverts out there were thinking, oh, this guy's watching a girl. No, it was a dude downstairs. This old dude who claimed he was a really good boxer in the fucking tub one night. So that was that was the worst apartment I've ever lived in.
Oh,
But
wow. Hopefully it was still in your unit, not someone else's unit, so to speak.
it was just really shitty work done. They just threw a
man.
giant vent to heat the upstairs, and it was really just cutting a hole out and putting a huge grate in the floor. And they're like, this is the vent from the downstairs to the upstairs. Also didn't have a thermostat, so that was another reason I couldn't control the heat.
We've been in some places like, oh yeah, the second floor was an afterthought, and the thing's just like the floor's just punched into like ductwork. There you go. Now you
Yeah.
get the AC or the heat coming, which, I mean, let's be real, there's no AC, but the floor's just like boom right into the vent. Okay, there you go. You're straight now. So
But yeah, that's my story.
yeah. So
What's the topic for today? Because we've talked a few times, and I've gotten feedback. People are, oh, you never have a topic, or you don't have a subject, and we could go down that fucking road. But
people are like,
we're not
I want
gonna-
to show you how to do a podcast better, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. You said that the last few times that you still haven't produced a podcast yet, bitch.
I just want there to be
No,
an
I want
idea.
to do. I want to do things that piss you off or upset you, which we make light of, and it's actually really funny. And because we don't really give a shit about it, it just it makes for like some funny conversation, even though the heat of the moment might be a bit of a different story. I just want to say this or that or the other is what, and we could come up with all sorts of crazy shit, but
Sure. So I guess going on that, what pisses you off?
I would have to say the last thing I saw, it might have been last night. It's getting dark around 5 o'clock
Oh,
or some shit.
I
It's
fucking
like-
I hate it so much.
so by the time I'm rolling home, I don't know. It's got to be 6:37. It's pitch black. It might as well be, like it's like the day's wasted by the time 4:30 comes around. If you don't do something really quick, then it's over. But you see this motherfucker driving around, full hood on. He's driving a car, full hood on. Like, the fuck? He's got a full hood on. Like, I'll wait a couple extra cars. I don't want to. I don't want to go near him and shit. Think about it, folks. Are you driving around with a full fucking hood on? Are you nuts? Say you got a full hood on, like that's like maybe comes to here. Do you think that poses any kind of an issue while you're driving around? Anyone? Back how many podcasts ago, I should say, oh, this guy's smart enough, he should be an engineer. Like, honestly, you can't see shit left. You certainly can't see fuck all right. Like, what are you trying to check your blind spots or some shit? You're fucking mental. I don't care if you're in a Civic or, a Ford Explorer. A fucking hood on while you're driving? Like, are you mental?
They just throw
Are
the
you
left
trying
signal
to-
on, and they just wait to hear if anybody honks. And then after 5 seconds, they just start to
And
go.
they're like, oh, click. You drive by feel, right? There's somebody there. Oh, it's like when you're backing up, they're like this. Hmm.
Wait for a sound. Oh, we're there.
Okay, I guess that's the one. Put it in drive, go a couple extra inches forward, and then just bitch out anyone who blames you for backing into their vehicle. You fucking wearing a full hood while you're driving? Are you nuts? What an ass goblin. I've seen people like this a couple maybe lately, but definitely this one dude that's like prominently like, I don't know if it's like I don't
It-
want to be
I
noticed.
think it's the weather.
I'm
It just
sure
gets
the
cold. The heater block
year,
doesn't
make,
work.
model, color of my vehicle, license plate certainly wouldn't give me away if someone's after me. I better put a hood on. That's the smartest thing to do. And you know what? You'll get caught sooner when you clip somebody that you can't see or whatever, right? It's like most ridiculous thing. If I'm wearing a hood, and guess what, folks, I wear a hood sometimes, okay? Like, sue me. As soon as I get in the car, I go, oh, I should take my hood off to make sure I can see everything, especially the blind spots and just having peripheral vision, like especially
Just for
in the
safety's
dark
sake.
when lights are coming at you. You got a hood on, you're tunnel visioned. Like it's so that's
It's
I had to throw that out there. I saw a couple of these motherfuckers the last week, and I'm going,
it has to be the weather. Honestly, I can't amount it because you don't
so
really
you can't
see
get a
it maybe in
remote
the
starter?
summer.
Like you'd rather just try to do an insurance claim?
They fucking maybe they have the old car. Maybe the heater block is fucked. Maybe the vent smells bad. Maybe they just have to get home and they throw their
For 10
mittens on.
minutes, it's like for 10 minutes.
Maybe, but maybe they also go into the store wearing the whole mittens and the hat. Maybe they're cold.
You could be frozen, but why is that? I just don't see the purpose of that at all.
Oh, it's
I
clearly a
cannot
bad
feel it.
decision.
Oh yeah, it's
but-
like, oh well, no one will know that I'm in this red '08. There's no Dodge Intrepid in '08 probably. Whatever the fuck it is. All right.
If you don't want to be noticed, put on a fucking balaclava. No hood, just straight up.
Well, at least have your
Straight
eyeballs
up
in the
mask.
game. Like exactly, a balaclava would be much better. You'd be able to see either side, unless it's some wacky unfitted one by like your grandmother knitted you your balaclava or something like.
Can you imagine
Fuck
seeing
you
at the
doing
lights the
that?
guys fucking with the eye holes trying to line them back up again?
I'd be like, I just don't go for a while. I put my four-ways on.
He looks
Right.
over at you with his fucking
Let you
potato
go,
sack.
Let you go. Yeah, but he's got this like.
It's like a burlap sack.
Yeah,
On their
exactly.
head.
Like, okay, now I'll go. Like, there's 3 people at least when they rock them. Then I'll have that a little bit of notice to go, oh, and get over or whatever. But that was one thing I thought. Okay, like I know a thing or two about peripheral vision, and that when you go like this, that you don't have it. So I thought that was funny. If any of you mother truckers don't think that's funny at all, or you go, oh, I drive around with a hood all the time, then I will challenge you to a duel on the racetrack. And I'd like to see how you do with your hood on. So, you're dumbass. There's a funny little buddy of mine, and I don't mean that in like some weird young immature way, but like a dude that, I don't know. Like, do you say you could fox with, or is that like a sexual thing now? I don't know.
No, because they fox with each other.
So this dude, he's a hilarious fucking guy. Honestly, like I go to sell eggs to him. He goes, "How much do I owe you?" I say, just take the eggs." And we spoke eggs before, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, you got eggs?" And so anyways, he's like a podcast listener, whatever. Fucking cool guy. And I don't know where I'm going with this. He
His things that
says,
piss you off?
No, I don't think so.
He's a funny little guy. But
He's not little.
But he's large.
No, he's not large.
He's not funny.
He is kind of funny.
He's just a guy
Yeah,
that you give eggs to.
that's right. Okay, so he goes, I'll pay for that. And I go, no, don't worry. And he goes, you know what you should do on the podcast? I would really like it. And whatever. He even says, when you said fucking living the dream, anytime I hear anybody say living the dream, whatever, I think about you. And so all this bullshit, right? So he says, you should do this thing about when you're picking up like a, whatever, doesn't matter, just some little object or something. Like you want to get a paper clip or something. And you're after one paper clip. You've got this document, a few pages. You don't want to staple them. You still want to be able to separate the documents in
Yeah.
the future without ripping them or wrecking a staple or possibly embedding it into your skin or anything else. So you want to put a paper clip on the shit. So you go in to grab a paper clip, and like 4 of them fucking come out of the container at once. And it was kind of funny because he made it seem like it was some tragedy. And I'm like, well, brother, why don't you just, fucking... It was so funny. For me, it was a notable thing that, oh no, you have 4 paper clips, but you don't have 4 documents, nor do you have the means or time to sort these out. Like, it's just...
So do you have something similar to, maybe not even a small object, but something that is like that? Because I have 2 right in my head as soon as you said that. That pissed me off.
I don't have a small object at all.
Fucking sheets.
Sheets, eh?
I'm pulling a sheet out, and I've got 4 other sets of sheets with 4 fucking pillowcases on top, grabbing it for my storage. Like, where all my sheets are folded.
What, are they all the same color and texture? Like, what are you talking about? Okay, so they're all the same color and texture, just like, oh god.
They're all white, and I'm grabbing these sheets, and I'm like, okay, this is a top sheet.
Well, you could just like
grabbing a bottom.
compartmentalize them or sort them, or if you have like a flannel sheet and a cotton sheet or this kind of sheet, you could just put one over the other and then go, oh, well, I'll reach down into... before it goes flannel.
This isn't a logical sheet discussion. This is my sheets at home. Don't worry about how I do my sheets. I reach in and all the sheets come out. The same thing happens with t-shirts. Mad, I love you so much. Thank you for folding all my t-shirts. She has changed the way I do laundry.
I can't stand she folds them backwards.
She folds the t-shirts and they fit better where she has them, like in my dresser where my t-shirt area is. They fit better the way that they're folded, and I can get more in. But because they're folded, I don't know what the word is. The way that they're folded, they're more delicate. So when I grab one, the one on the top and the one on the bottom both flip and roll out together with the shirt. Even if I'm holding it up, if they touch, it pulls the other one out.
Similar to your sheets or t-shirts, or how did we get here?
It's the fucking paper clips. I want 1 t-shirt. I don't need 9. I don't need 12 t-shirts.
Wow. I'm more of like a underneath, and then even though the back of your hand isn't particularly great for grabbing, I do the back of the hand, and then I grab like a shirt and fucking roll it out. I don't know. I think I got it down to a bit of a science. I do like a back of the hand grab, and just...
Maybe I should... practice.
Like, I'm not trying to grab, and then you get 3 things. I kind of go, okay, how far down? Okay, that's the shirt. That's the desirable shirt right there. I go, and then I do the backhand
and just lift
and pull it out, and then let the stack go back.
But the thing about the stack is the way that and if anybody doesn't think that this is fun to listen to, I'm sorry. This is fun to sit and talk about. So
I don't give a fuck about t-shirts, honestly.
But pulling the thing out, if you touch any of these shirts, the way they're folded, they get all messed up, or they don't even come out, but they just flip one way, and then you put the t-shirts on.
What if they're backwards? What if they're put in backwards? What do you think of that?
It doesn't matter how they're put in.
Okay, continue.
The way that I fold it is you fold the t-shirt hot dog style.
Oh,
then arms in, and then fold it once lengthwise.
You learned too much from Dad on that one.
And you just pull the shit out, and it comes out. Madison.
That means there's a crease right down the goods right here.
Yes.
You don't... This could be a high quality print. You don't want to... No. I don't feel that. You do the old...
That's how Madison folds the t-shirts.
But not the backwards way. Why do you have to... Like, just make it so you're looking at it the way you're going to wear it. Not doing it the backwards way.
Yeah, she folds it so the logo is out like it's a store.
Damn tootin'. But not upside brown to the way you're looking at it.
No, it's proper. It's put in. But for reference, any of my good actual t-shirts that I wear, they're hung up. Actual good t-shirts.
Okay.
Ones that I don't give a shit about the line down the front. That's why I don't give a shit about the line down the front, because they're in a fucking thing locked away.
That's like another dad trick. Hang all your t-shirts up. I'm like, how many closets do you have?
I hang up like 5
t-shirts. I don't hang any
that are like nicer
up.
Quality, that aren't like shit. Like I got them for free when I spent enough at Popeyes, and they're like, here's a t-shirt.
Yeah, my nicer ones are like on the top of said t-shirt pile, so they don't have as much weight pushing down on them.
You never get to the lower t-shirts then, because they just sit there forever.
I do. It's like, oh, there's a Jordan one, or like a, God forbid, I won't say it actually. But like a couple Jordan ones or whatever, and yeah, the odd time they get pulled out. Oh, that's a weird color, but it's still comfortable. So if I'm just moseying around the land, I'll throw that on or whatever. Oh, no one will see that. It's under a hoodie, so throw that one on.
Yeah.
Kirsty often, I don't know about often, but we'll say like, you look like you just bought all your shit at Value Village. And I'm like, okay, A, I earned that shit, and if I wasn't at like this event, I would not have even received said t-shirt. B, you're sexy. C, fuck off because look at half the t-shirts you're wearing. They're old shit I got from events that you would say looked like Value Village shit. So what the fuck, right, or whatever. So anyways, it's all good.
So those were piss offs that got to the paperclip, which got to my T-shirt and my sheets.
Yeah, you know who you are, Dawn. Like, how did you do that? But you're a genius of picking one thing up and getting four. So
It'll
look at you.
be funny when we're editing. I'll just go in and just cut his name out and just like put in like a quack or something.
You're up. Wah, wah, wah.
You know who you are.
Whatever thing.
Meow.
You're like ticka 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 tick. Okay, so what else you got, or what's up, or I'm not gonna put out your challenge yet because I haven't really, so to speak, roasted the occasion of my challenge. Although I plan to. There's been a few things that have come up, especially these renovations and I don't know, different things in my life. There's these people that are like, show me this property that's going to go for double that it's listed, but we still want to see it. Or, oh, no, sorry, that was you. Whatever. It's like, it's been a little bit busy.
But
do you want to share your dream, or do you want me to make a little transition in there?
you can, if you want. I mean, that will end it. I wanted to.
Not necessarily end it, but
Well, I mean, but what I was gonna say was, before I cut it, was I wanted to talk and like touch on the video game thing. Just like one thing that I've always kind of had like as like an escape for what I like to do that isn't necessarily making me money, that isn't making my body look better, or isn't, it's something that I can just, it's kind of a disconnect. Video games. I've always been into them, you've kind of drifted away from that as you get older. And I think like most people do.
well, fucking excuse me, like
No, like even me, like I'm like,
you're
oh, I
like,
want to
well,
play.
as you get older.
No, I'm saying as like every year I play less and less video games.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
It's
So
a thing that
it's not so
naturally
bad.
happens.
You're not insulting.
No. It's literally I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play, and like for 3 weeks I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play tonight, and then I don't play, and then it's a month, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play. I just never.
I hear this big time, and it's funny because it does relieve stress and it is fun.
It's
and
fun
you
as
can
fuck, and it's
potentially talk to friends. Maybe you're just on some solo campaign, whatever thing. But that's funny you even said it that way because I can feel that. Yeah. So what?
So you want me to cut it back in?
No, we're already talking. We're in.
Oh, what?
What? This whole thing's been a thing.
I don't know how to edit this.
Yeah, I'll show you.
For fuck. All right.
The video game thing is like, oh man, you know how if you start on that, we could be here for days.
Yeah, and I don't want to maybe spend a ton of time on it, but it's like it's a big passion of mine. I like doing it. People are like, "Oh, that's childish," and some people are like, "Oh, I completely understand what you're talking about." So
yeah, I know both sides of the spectrum in that regard, or in that I don't know, opinion set or something. Like someone's like, "I can't believe you would waste that kind of time," and while they're reading, the paper for like an hour of some mainstream bullshit thing that's like, honestly, I could have A, found that for free, B, dug down further past that, or whatever.
Sure,
and at the same time, the next person is putting together a puzzle for an hour. Like, that's productive.
yeah, you can do literally a million and one things better than play video games. That's awesome. But for a long part of my life, it was kind of a cool, like, I don't know, like an escape. Like I could do whatever I wanted in this.
Shit, yeah.
And
I hear that.
and like it's something I've always like been into, like I was saying, and I think a lot of it, again, just from growing up kind of alongside you, and it was an interest of yours. So then I was like, oh, what are you doing?
It's my fault.
Well, it's not your fault. I think it started with probably SNES. I would
Yeah.
say probably Mario, Link to the Past, Super Mario World, and Link to the Past, where I came into kind of
Yeah, yeah.
understanding what's going on now. Like anything basically before that, like I've played Atari, I've played Sega, all the bullshit, but it's like
Well, that's when you, yeah, like started to comprehend more of
I
the
could
input
potentially
here
play
is
it.
what did that, therefore, and if you played it, then I played it. Okay, this is, well, I would go here, and you might have thought to go there. I already knew the game
Right, you've already beaten it 12
or
times. You know exactly where to
whatever,
go.
and you're like, oh my god, like or to do some secret thing, right? You go up here instead of the path of least resistance as you would expect to go, and then it, that's like it led down the long, like this is the long dick of the law. Like, it's just like, oh my god, you could fly left on the screen while the game was scrolling right and do some
And get somewhere
fuckery.
else, yeah.
And oh my god, it was like, and geez, I mean, what we should do is like, is a weekend long enough? I don't know. Is a week long enough? It's like, we got to set up like a 120-inch screen, which we have the means to do it, and the projector and whatever, and just like chill out for a week and play all this shit that we used to.
That would be really dope.
And that's a week off. Playing Super Mario World, going through all the little ways to jump down into the 8th world from the 5th world or whatever the hell it is. I'm not like a connoisseur, don't be all freaky, folks. I can play a couple games, but go Super Metroid, go
Oh,
Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, just give her like one day's that, the whole day. Just boom.
that would be fat.
Like that would actually be one of the more fun times I could probably think to ever spend, even though I like to get after it and I like to grind shit but man, is that ever fun too.
So, off of that, do you could you come up off the top of your head top 3?
Top 3 of all time, anytime, any platform, whatever.
Yeah.
Ooh, geez, top of the dome. What do you got?
Number 1, no matter what, no matter how much new shit comes out that I think is so dope and I'm so into it, number 1 is always going to be Super Metroid.
Yes, definitely, no question.
Is my number 1.
Super Metroid. I think I said no question really quickly. Then I'm like second guessing. No, there's no second guessing.
Like
That is it, number 1 for sure.
which is funny because in reality it's not a very deep game. There's not a ton of mechanics that go into it or
Like
skill building and
map wise and hidden objects and so on. It actually is like,
oh, I mean, I've dumped a ton of time when I was a teenager into Skyrim. And like you could build a character this way and then literally play the game all over again and build it completely different and have none of the same kind of interactions.
But I
Like,
mean, like, you're not going to find every super missile and every power bomb little stash. Like, if you do in Super Metroid, like, you're an obsessive nerd or it's like crazy shit. Even though, like you say, if you know this and this and this, you can do it all.
Right.
But it's actually doing it and discovering all the little. How can you do this when you should have done that first?
yeah.
But how could you have done this if you followed the path of what the intention of the developer might have been? Or maybe the developer might have thought these 3 different things. This is super hard. This will fuck you in the ass. And then this is the way that you really should do it, but it'll take an extra hour and a half.
Right.
Or whatever. Like, I mean, it's incredible. Like, you had the super controller, you'd be down in some thing with the dirty things that you could freeze to use as platforms to get back up, but you didn't have the ice beam yet or whatever, so you flick the little, and you're the morphing ball, boom 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 boom,
Oh my God.
boom boom boom, put the bombs there, but then one guy at the very end would come by and
clip
smoke you because you just didn't know what the actual path to take was. And so it would be very difficult for me. Like, is the top 3 all SNES? Like, when I'm a PC maniac? At the time, PC was like, you know, Castle Wolfenstein 3D, and it was like super cool. We were playing maybe within a few years Medal of Honor.
I thought I knew what your number 2 would be.
Oh, geez, I don't even know if I know what my own number 2 would be. And I don't
GoldenEye?
mean. Oh, see, when you bring up this other shit, oh. Why does there only have to be 3?
I mean, there doesn't have to be. You could do a top 10, but it's just
Oh,
off the
geez,
top of your
yes.
head. What
Yes,
is
you're
the
actually right. You even reminded me of shit that's better than shit that I would think is better. Like, yeah, I'm thinking maybe GoldenEye 007. Oh my gosh. What a ridiculous game.
the only other thing I can
But
think
then
that
it's like a
cracks
tied
that-
for third type of thing.
Yeah, it's
now.
like what beats it or comes close. I would have to say either Super Mario 64.
Oh no.
No,
No.
you didn't feel that?
It's not like I had a problem with it or anything, but just my experience, the way I lived life, there's not enough experience in it to appreciate it as much as maybe some do.
So then I would have to say Link to the Past at number 3.
I was gonna say that maybe up against Super Mario World.
Yeah,
And then I was thinking like, oh, like Star Fox was really cool and shit.
but
But it
like,
doesn't.
That's
It's kind of like it's kind of tiny.
yeah, like it's very
in-
linear. You only do one thing.
Yeah, like in that sense. But then what about Mario 3?
I was gonna say Mario 3 as well, where you throw the
Like-
turnips, I believe, or is that
No,
Mario
that's
2?
2. Yeah, that's 2. 2 is all wacky. 2 is like
That
off
was
the
a
beaten
hard
path.
game.
Oh, it's one of the hardest, if not the hardest, besides Lost Levels.
So what's 3? 3 is
3 is getting whistles.
oh, and the
fucking
friggin' the
around.
raccoon tail,
Sure.
the leaf,
You're
the
getting
is that
whistles
frog
and then-
suit.
Yeah, damn
That's
right.
a sweet game.
Oh,
I
fuck yeah.
almost prefer that over Super Mario World.
Oh no. Like it's hard to say between. Okay, so say the Star Fox is out.
Yep.
Like Castle Wolfenstein 3D, I'm trying to think.
I
It doesn't
can't
have to be in the
imagine-
same era,
I just can't imagine that's going to be in your top 10.
but it's like when you
It's maybe nostalgic,
when
but
you build your own computer and get it all going to get to the point of being able to even play that, compared to just I unwrapped some Christmas gift because I'm a spoiled prick and plugged it in and now I'm playing it, was like very different. It was a very different experience in that regard.
there's got to be one of the Mortal Kombats up there for you.
I am like a nut bar about Mortal Kombat. Like literally, I'm actually just about to finish up my car alarm, so when I arm the vehicle, it goes toasty instead of saying armed or just doing a beep.
Or click, yeah.
I have full Bluetooth capability to record whatever I
Which,
want on
like,
my
that's
alarm.
been your notification on your phone, at least for certain notifications throughout
Oh,
the
it
years.
has. I've kind of gotten off the playing.
A sound or a tune
Yeah,
or
sound.
whatever.
I've been so annoyed by other people's phones that I just put it on vibrate now. Super annoyed. That didn't even think of that, but some people are like, dun 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 dun, and it's like the thing is fucking 85 decibels right there. Like honestly, you were gonna miss a call that was that important. Like, get fucked. Put that ringtone on the one person that was that important. Like, you kidding?
You know who you are
whatever.
listening to this with the loudest notifications for every single contact set up.
Yeah, Dad.
Dad. He'll be like, "Whoa, I fucking
Well, I
need
mean,
it."
sometimes I don't always have my phone on me, and if I'm in the kitchen doing something and my phone's in the living room, then I
Again.
don't want to be.
I get the
It
practicality
could
of
be you
it.
boys that need my help. So what do you think of that?
Fine. He's
Jeez.
oh man, the
Super
loudest phone.
Metroid. I think the GoldenEye 00. I guess
And
I'm
Link to
feeling
the
it.
Past.
Link to the Past. It's such a cool. Back when maybe there wasn't even a Prima guide. Maybe there was. Maybe you couldn't afford it, or you didn't even have a shop in your town to go and like fuck with it. You didn't order it on Amazon. You didn't look it up on. You didn't Google it. You had to try to go through and figure it out. That's what probably made it more fun than anything else. Any game could come out like that, be identical to that. And you'd probably just look it up online if you got stuck, or
Yep.
ask
That's
someone that looked it up online that got stuck. So for me, like, the day of the Super Metroid and the A Link to the Past and all these things was more of like the social aspect of going through with you or with Pops or something and going, well, fuck, like, where do you think we should go now? Like,
Yeah, it's like we're
what
stuck.
should we do? Like, well, let's keep going back to where we were and
To all
see if
those
there's
other
another
places.
way to. That was what was so damn fun about it.
Oh yeah, and
So
for,
comparing it to these days or this era of games, like I could say, oh, this and that and the other, and it's incredible graphics, and I got a 3090, I could play the shit out of it, like, or whatever, but that wasn't really all that created the joy of playing it, I guess.
it's funny that you say that because the thing that got me into gaming, I think the actual action was being the wingman to you after like after school or on a weekend or something, and you're like, okay, like I need to get to this next area or whatever. And for those of you who don't know or maybe didn't grow up playing video games, there was the fucking manila looking kind of, or maybe tan folder, and you open it up and all of the maps are color glued, and there's
Well, we
typed
had like
out
a proper old,
instructions.
like, here's a circus and a clown scrapbook that was like at the dollar store, 32 pages of, like you say, the manila or the craft paper. And we just bought the book, and
And you're like, okay,
as we discovered things,
it's like turn to the left, and right here there should be a crack in the wall. You're like, nope, there's no crack, and it's like, where did we go wrong? We missed a step. Go back and like retrace steps. But it was so fun because it was like solving a mystery.
yeah, that's what I think ultimately makes them those top somewhat games. Like, the graphics were balls. The probably processing or speed of the things were balls. You're playing on a fucking tube TV. Like, almost everything compared to today's gaming, I don't know what you want to say. It's not culture, but kind of the.
Well, it is like it's the nostalgia.
Every single
it's
thing was
the-
balls. It was completely different and not particularly great at maybe anything except the actual plot or the gameplay or the map or the fact that you just couldn't research the shit that easily, so you had to just do it.
Yeah.
Maybe is what made them so great.
Well, like I try
Like-
to not look shit up, and like every once in a while, if I'm
That
like
was
struggling,
that was the thing.
Matt's like, look, just like, oh, just look it up, and I'm like, no,
Max Payne
Max Payne
or
number
Max
one?
Payne 2. Either one, like during
Was
the
that the one
time
with the
where
freaky baby level?
both had some fucked up
Because I remember you're like,
weird
all right, Alex.
interlude levels. Yeah, that
come
was
here.
your level. I didn't want to fuck with it.
I'm just
You
like,
were like my guinea pig dude. Yeah, like
Jumped
go like
over.
6 stories down onto another blood path, or I don't know about the top 3, but this is during the times where you and I weren't gonna look up how to do it.
Right, it's like, how do we do this? It's like,
Even
there's
though
nowhere else to go.
You could have probably, and I think maybe you could have done that, but we were like, no, we'll figure it out
yeah,
ourselves.
screw that.
But like bullet time and
Diving
like,
sideways.
I mean, that was breakthrough shit
oh yeah,
for the time too. So like, I mean, we could. What we'll do is do like a whole more in-depth episode on that. But I think that's.
yeah. I didn't realize how deep it was gonna get, and it's funny
Oh,
because you had
yeah.
said you're like, oh, we could go on, and I was like,
I could do
I
a
don't think
whole
it's that-
season of this shit.
I was like, I don't think it's that crazy. And then I was like, there's an idea where somebody's like, oh, I want you guys to be more topic based. That's a topic that we could
I
talk
could do
about
just an
almost
hour
endlessly.
on GoldenEye, just an hour on Super Mario World, and especially if we had a couple things like, here's the worlds or the maps, and you're like, cheese bridge or butter bridge, and you're like, we'd talk for 20 minutes about the
God.
fucking thing, like it's,
Fucking
you know what I mean? It's-
fighting Goro at the end of the
Yeah.
champion series in Mortal Kombat
I'm
and
a
just getting
goddamn
wrecked.
forearm prick that's 3 or 4 times your weight, and
He just
you're
grabs
just
you
nothing.
and punches you
You're
every
nothing.
time. The only way is to Johnny Cage punch him in the balls like the fucking movie. Every time. Like
So-
you oh man.
It's a $500 fucking
Pair
pair
of
of sunglasses,
glasses.
asshole. Like,
Oh, what a terrible movie. Like,
I absolutely
but
love it.
nostalgic and funny, but like a very like watching it back, you're like, oh my god, it's such a bad movie.
Oh yeah, it's like sometimes there's certain things like that, whether it be games, movies, what have you, of this wonderful childhood memory that I don't think I should watch or play because I'll be
Oh,
so fucking disappointed
I can't. I
and
had
wreck
that
this
recently.
incredible memory of some of the best times of my life. Like, I don't want to fucking maybe screw with it.
I did that with either a movie or a show, and I'm like, oh my
I
god,
did it
this
with
was
a movie not
amazing.
too long
And
ago.
I'm like, I should have left that memory in that little box and been like, that was a pretty cool movie, and
Yep.
I screwed it.
You go, oh my god, look at these special effects. Even the actors are balls. And you could pick apart every little thing, but that's not what it was about in 92
No,
or
it
whatever
was what
when
they
you
had
watched
available.
it. Yeah, you got to be really, really careful. One thing, okay, so if you're into it and or not, or I'm into it and or not, we're going to be done here. I want to leave off on one of the most valuable lessons I've probably ever learned in my entire life. And it goes along the lines of watching that thing that was incredible when you're a kid, or playing that thing that was incredible when you're a kid, or busting out that toy, or you name it. But ultimately, it comes down to, and I'm serious, folks, like, you got to be careful not to fuck with it. Do not ask a question to anyone or anything or to the universe that you're not 100% prepared to hear the answer. Because if you're just fucking around and go, oh, what if that, or hey, what did you, blah, 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 whatever it is, and you're not 100% ready for whatever the answer might be, isn't it better just not to ask the fucking question? Honestly, you don't need to know. You don't need to know everything. Go and learn something else. But don't ask a question where you think you want to know the answer, or 98% of what the answers could be you can handle. Maybe you shouldn't ask the fucking question. I'm going to say that.
Chilling.
Yeah, in
Like,
not a particularly wonderful way.
no.
Honestly, if, like, you said, Dad, have you ever killed anybody? Or, like, so-and-so, have you ever went to jail? Like, it could almost be this playful, funny little question that you pulled out of your ass for no reason. And 10 minutes later, you're like, oh my God, my life has changed now. Like, I don't mean this as any actual real shit in my example questions. I just mean as examples for anyone out there that thinks, hey, did you ever whatever to someone, or to just be careful what you ask, because you might not like to hear the answer. I'll throw that out there.
So is that the one then?
I don't know, like it. I mean, I guess it's been long enough to be the one at this point. That's the one for me.
Well,
Peace.